What's up, what's up, what's up? This Professor L coming back to drop that science. Peace to the gods, the goddesses, the kings, the queens, and all the children of the Most High God. This is Professor L once again coming back. That's to lift the vibrations, raise the frequencies, and resurrect the consciousness of the gods. How y'all doing out there? Today my lecture is about the law of karma. Today I'm going to teach you about karma. And how karma, I like to refer to karma as a female, and when she comes to dance with you. Karma. Today my lecture is about when she comes to dance. She comes to dance. Now, before I get into the lecture, I have to help you to understand. In order to understand karma, you have to understand consciousness. Consciousness, by those of us who study the higher and the lower self, or higher consciousness as it is known. Consciousness is like a silk screen, almost as if you were in a movie theater. However, that same blank white silk screen that you see in the movie theater just before they turn the lights out and the picture and the image and the credits go up on the screen, you see a silver white screen. Those of us in the high conscious community have come to understand this teaching from the great sages, that your entire consciousness is like this silver screen. It's like a silver screen around you. Take the screen in the movie theater and wrap it around your head, and this is your consciousness. Now here's the key. I created man in my image and likeness. And this I is the intelligence that runs through you as a spiritual entity created in the image of God. This I is also the silk screen around you. So the thoughts that run up through you as an entity, the thoughts that you act upon, the information that you receive, that you believe, now makes up the images on the silk screen. I don't know who's heard me. I am explaining to you the development of the images of your consciousness. Whatever you are thinking and believing becomes so. This is the law of correspondence. As above, so below. Whatever you're thinking, now you will soon see as a manifestation in your life. But I want to go back to the focus on the law of karma, because I'm going to teach you what it means when karma, when she comes to dance, she comes to dance. You see, karma, she don't play. When you see, karma is who you're going to meet when you put certain things up on the screen of your life. The karma of that belief. The karma of that idea. But let me go back. So you have to understand that when you think, you are acting upon certain thoughts that arise up in you from the God thought. But if you're not on that level, I can't help you. That's why it says, God, deliver me from temptation. You don't realize that God is giving you the thoughts that you're having, placing all the images in front of you off of your pineal gland. And you're the one deciding which thought, which tree, which fruit you shall eat of. I think somebody's dropping that, getting that Genesis wisdom up in them. You are the one in the garden. Your mind is the garden. The Kabbalion, research it. It's time for y'all to step it up. You got to start reading the real secret documents that unleash power within your consciousness through the wisdom when one studies it. The Kabbalion, the Kabbalah, the 42 laws of Ma'at, alchemy, Kemet. Come on now, you got to step up your game. You got to see the real sciences, the sciences, man, that the Bible was written upon. The Bible was written upon those laws. But let's get back to, the principle stuff here. So anyway, according to the structure of the human anatomy, you are having thoughts, and the thoughts that you get, the thoughts that you act upon, puts things upon the silver screen, which is known as your consciousness. But I call it the screen of your life. I think I'm going to have a lecture, or either I have something written based on that. I have a written lecture in my Know the Higher Self page on Facebook based on the screen of your life. But I'm going to do an audio lecture on it as well. But what I'm talking about now is your consciousness is the screen of your life. And whatever you believe is up there. Now, talking about karma, certain acts that you partake in, certain thoughts that you have make you commit certain acts, and now karma is the result of that act coming back to you. And you see, you have to understand, within the laws, because the universe love you so much, and the universe really want you to understand the laws, what the universe does is the universe sends the act to you, back to you, so that it returns to you multiplied. Oh yeah. You usually get it in maybe the form of 3s, possibly 7s, maybe 10s, or maybe 100-fold. You see, you have to tie in the law of karma, the law of action, and you tie all that in with the law of tenfold return and the law of giving and receiving. You got to study these laws. The universe don't be playing. These laws make up the very existence of who you are. That's why people read the Bible, because the laws is put in there in the form of stories for the common man. But if you want to be a god, you better start studying alchemy, Kemet, the 42 laws of Ma'at, the Kabbalion, the Kabbalah. This is the wisdom that the gods study. Like I said, I come to bring that food for the gods. But anyway, let's get back to karma and how she comes to dance. You see, getting back to my thought, certain acts are going to have certain karmatic effects. As a matter of fact, they all do, but certain ones need to teach you who you are. You see, certain ones that the universe will throw many things up in front of you. Remember in Genesis it says, "Yeah, placed ye in the garden." You don't realize that the garden is your mind. Oh, I'm about to take you upstairs, baby. We got to go to the next level here. That's why God said, I need somebody that can bring that Christian, if he's listening to it, this audio is going to find that Christian who really wants to get into the deeper sciences of Genesis, the deeper sciences of the book of their life. That Christian that's going to understand that they are the Bible and they must come to know themselves. Oh, I don't come to play. So anyway, getting back to karma. You see, so what karma does now, the law of karma is in place in your universal structure to help you learn yourself. And if you's a nasty ass, if you're just a nasty, terrible person, the shit you do gonna come rolling down at your ass first in 3s. Do you know that's why the Bible literally says that if somebody comes along and slaps the shit out of you, you should turn the other cheek? Because it's karma. And she has come to dance. And when karma gonna lace that ass with them 5 fingers, karma gonna slap the living, karma gonna show you that in a previous lifetime, maybe in this present lifetime, but somewhere along the line in your spiritual existence, you see, you have to understand you are energy. Do you understand that? And energy, if you study the sciences, cannot be destroyed. It can only change forms. I know somebody who's ready to be a god has got that. That's why it says you are eternal. You're energy. You're looking at flesh in the mirror. Oh God, I'm going to die tomorrow. Chemtrails, this, that, and other thing. Stop all that damn crying and shit. You're a god when you start studying energy. Okay, let me get back on track. So when karma comes to dance with you because karmas want to teach you the loveliness of how you were. Maybe in a previous lifetime. Karma don't care that you don't believe in reincarnation. That is not karma's job. Karma's job is not to teach you reincarnation which you refuse to believe in. Karma's job is to teach you about your previous actions and the effect that they have on someone's life. So therefore karma comes with a 5-finger slap of this. Kataya! And slap the living shit out that ass. No, when you read the Bible, God says turn the other cheek. But you pull out your fucking gun and you shoot the motherfucker that slapped you. Pow! Put 2 up in that ass. Of course you go to court and now you gotta do 25 years in jail. Well, God don't. The universe doesn't care. Because the universe says, I'm going to rise you to your godship. However you learn these lessons, you have to learn these lessons. So it doesn't matter if you learn them on the street or you learn them in prison for the next 25 years. I'm your God and I'm with you. You will learn the laws of your existence. Doesn't matter where you will learn them. It doesn't matter if you die in this life. When you come back in the next life, these laws and these structures will be here. It doesn't matter whether you come back to this third dimensional realm called Earth or whatever realm that you go to. The universal laws are always in place. Is there a God that hears me? You see, I don't come to play. God said, I need somebody just like this that can drop this science. We got all the other people out there, but I need an in-between brother. You know, I need a brother to bring that little flavor, some of that gangster shit while you're teaching us high consciousness. Because you got the gangsters out there that I love, and they love me, but they need to learn themselves, so you know they can listen to this shit while you're laying on the couch holding their dicks and shit. Oh God, why I say that? You know how people lay on the couch and shit, you know, just, oh God, okay, let's get back to what I'm saying. So, you know, when you have to understand, karma comes to teach you yourself. It teaches you about your previous actions. That's clearly why the Bible says turn the other cheek. I could never understand that shit. Somebody slapped me, well, I'm about to start breaking bones and snapping limbs and shit. Hey, that's how it's going to be. Hey, what it is what it is. You slap me, slap the wrong person. Hey, break his arm, man. Let him go learn the next person. Turn the other cheek shit. Okay, well, you know. I'm trying to learn this shit too, you know, so I'm like, no, but actually, you know, what the universe does is the universe will give you a lesson where somebody will be somewhat aggressive, not necessarily smack you. The universe knows that you have to be brought along slowly. The universe knows whether you're not, you know, you're worthy of somebody slapping you, you're going to pull the strap on them and put two up in them, pop, pop, pop. Fuck wrong with this food? You know, God knows you. God knows you. So God says, no, you know what? I'm not going to have somebody slap you. I'm just going to have a person come curse you out. Then we're going to see how you handle that. You see, so like I was saying, your God knows you. Your God knows what spiritual stage you're at all times. Your God doesn't matter what religion you are, what name you place on your God. The source that gave you life knows you. So the source that gave you life is in you. The kingdom is within you. Look for that lecture because it's coming soon. It's going to be a deep one. But the source of life knows you. So it knows where you are, what level you're at. So therefore, that test, because remember, these are all tests on your spiritual journey. That's why the universe throws certain fruit in front of you. In Genesis, these fruit are described as trees in the garden. You see, you got to understand how the great writers of the Bible, they already knew they were well lettered in the study of the laws. So therefore, they knew how to transmute the laws from a cognitive point of view and write them down as stories involving human beings' lives so that people can therefore learn principles and lessons, but they're really learning principles of the law. Me and my daughter had this discussion once before. The difference between the universal laws and the principles that man study. You see, the laws are set and they are in place. It is man who devises principles of the law. But it is important to get a full understanding of the law. And then once you get a full understanding of the law, then you can understand the variations and how all the laws interact. And not just one or two baby principles here or there. But the universe knows who you are, where you are. It knows, it keeps a record of all your acts. And then the karma comes to teach you these acts. Now I'm going to give you a little story. You know, I always got to give a nice story and shit. So one day, you know, I had this little habit. I would buy hot wings and shit. When I was driving the car, you know, I used to bring my kids back from karate. And, you know, we would all be, and I would always buy hot wings and give them some wings. So I had this habit, I would throw a hot wing bone out the window. And every now and then I would hear a voice say, don't do that. I ain't paying attention. So then as my consciousness started growing over the years, I started becoming more conscious of my surroundings. So I decided, you know, I'm going to stop littering. But every now and then I would slip back into littering. So then when I finally, you bought your house and you got a little property, you know what I'm saying? You trying to keep your shit clean and spiffy, doing your garden, keeping your lawn and shit done. One day, lo and behold, I come out on my lawn and there's a big pile of dog shit on this previous lawn I just cut, and grass and stuff I just trimmed, and papers and shit. Now I'm pissed. Because somebody just disrespected my property. But your God, who is always feeding you thoughts. You have to understand thoughts. In the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Oh, I take this shit upstairs or downstairs. It don't matter. Consciousness is all. I know this shit too well. You see, so I was pissed, but the first thing my God said to me was, you're a litterer. Don't you litter? Don't you throw chicken wings out the window? As I'm standing there looking at this pile of dog shit right next to me, it's almost as if the dog said, hey, I'll just pee and shit right here. I wish I had saw that neighbor, because he would have been in that mailbox. Mailman said, well, who is this all bundled up in here? That's my neighbor, him and his dog. Shit, no, okay, let me not bring Brooklyn Gangs into this. But anyway, so I'm standing there like, and God is telling me, you litter. Don't you litter? This logic and reasoning is hitting me as I'm standing there looking at this trash and this pile of shit. And that's when the universe started teaching me about myself. Karma. Do you hear me? You see, when karma comes, she comes to dance with you. And she don't care whether or not you remember your move previously. She will reteach you the move better than you have learned them the first time yourself. When you thought you were nifty and shifty and slick with the moves. Karma says, oh no, where are you? I want to dance. I have perfected your moves. Oh, let me show you. I can do them 3 times better than you. No, wait, 7 times. Oh, hold up, 10 times. I'm just being modest. I can do these moves 100 times better than you. Let me show you yourself. When karma comes to dance, she comes to dance. A lot of people don't like karma. A lot of people, because they're not learned and studied, they don't know the structure of the human anatomy. They don't know that it's only them in their own universe learning themselves, the higher and the lower self. The lecture's up. Go listen to it. You got to learn your higher and your lower self. Your higher self is doing things, feeding your pineal gland. Your spiritual side is just trying to teach you. And because you are not studied, because you don't take the time to pray, because you don't take the time to just give yourself 7 minutes of stillness and say, God, straighten me up. I can't do it, but I know if I sit here for 7 still minutes, you can. You see, the universe will just load you up. The universe right then will start changing some of the dumbass shit that you had already planned to step into because you walked and moved and made decisions without mastering your 11th disciple. That was James, and his gift was discernment. You see, y'all got to understand even how the disciples were gifted. Y'all think Jesus just grabbed and do, yo, come walk with me, son. Y'all don't know that Peter's gift was his ability to hear. That's why Jesus singled him out and say, who do you say that I am? Remember, he said, who do you say? He didn't say, who do y'all say? I ain't talking to the other disciples standing here. I want to know Peter's understanding of my presence here. You see how deep this shit get? So when you read it in there, you got to read that shit, man, with an open mind. Jesus wanted people to see Peter's gift. So Peter then looks at Jesus and he says, after Jesus asked him, who do you say I am? You in particular. I ain't asking these other guys, I'm asking you. You see, you have to understand there's a difference between high school and college level learning. In high school, they give you information and then they just say, yo, study this up, I'm going to test you on this shit Friday. In college, they give you information let you digest the information, and then they want you to evaluate that information in your life experiences. And this is what Jesus was looking for from Peter. Oh, I know this shit too good. You talking about study, 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 and show thyself approved. I don't come to play. So Peter then looks at Jesus and says, you are the Christ. There was a slight pause if you read it. Jesus didn't say anything. Then Peter, suddenly spirited in his speech, he said, Son of the living God. Now you have to understand, the first part of Peter's answer was a high school answer, because that's what Jesus told him. You're the Christ. But when Peter said, Son of the living God, Jesus then said those words were not of flesh and blood. In other words, I didn't tell you something and you remembered it. The words you said after that came from the Spirit of the Father, meaning wisdom. When you digest information, apply this information to yourself and your life. And then you exercise the light of the knowledge gained from the wisdom. This is ascension. So let's go back to littering. Jesus was showing me that in my own universe, the light that I was giving off, whatever I do is your light. And this light, this act, will be reflected in others. Let me tell you a deeper story. So now that I'm high in the consciousness, I was meditating in the parking lot one day waiting for my wife. And I'm in the parking lot, and people are walking and traveling, so I go into meditation. And this meditation made me feel so good, just 7 minutes. 7 minutes of separating myself from everything I've created and just enjoying the spirit of who I am. Did anybody hear that? 7 minutes of separating yourself from the madness that you created in your life when you didn't know what the hell you was doing, just getting into the darkness and the origin of the spirit of oneself. 7 minutes. And I felt so good after that, that when I opened my eyes, loving myself and preparing to open my eyes and love everything that I now created with a totally different perspective, there was a man standing about 30 feet to 40 feet in front of me, looking right at my car. I'm still laying back with the seat reclined, and now through my eyes, I'm looking right at him through my windshield. And he's looking right at my car. It's almost as if it's just me and this man in the whole universe. And he's looking right at the car. This man standing looking right at the car pulls his tissue out of his pocket, puts it to his nose, blows his nose into it, wipes his nose area clean, and throws his tissue on the ground, all while he's looking right at me. And right then, I loved my God, because I knew that that was my God standing in front of me, showing me a nasty, reflected image of myself, who had refused to stop throwing chicken bones out the window, filthifying and dirtying up my own consciousness. You see, your God loves you so much, he just shows you yourself. And people don't understand that. When you are looking at others in the screen of your life, you are looking at a reflected image of yourself. Please learn to implement the law of observation before you act, speak, or judge. You don't necessarily have to have karma so negative if you implement the law of observation. All things you're not necessarily supposed to act upon. Just observe, because these are all reflected images of yourself. Now, you are in 360 degrees of your own truth. Everything is recorded. It's called the Akashic Records. Everything. And that which you do is done back to you to teach you yourself, the law of karma. So, whether or not you believe in reincarnation and why somebody slapped you or why certain things are happening to you, learn the lesson of the act. Smile, move on. Show love. Listen to my audio, The Law of Action. It has a lot to do with this lecture, The Law of Karma. Listen to the Law of Action. Understand how you put loving acts do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So that when karma comes back around, that which you were doing unto others is what is now being done unto you. That which you are doing now circles back around to you 3 times or 7 times, possibly 10 times or 100-fold. So are you sending around act of love? Because when karma comes to dance, karma, when she just comes to dance, karma can come with an arm-bearing gifts. Or she can come to dance and take you through 4 or 5 rounds of dancing head. You remember, she's only returning to you your own moves. And she's showing you that she is now nicer at these moves than you were. So when karma comes to dance, don't be angry and start crying to God, why is this happening to me? The law of observation. Allow it to happen. And say, I forgive myself. That is a very deep science. As a matter of fact, the law of forgiveness is so deep. That's one of the lessons I have to work on myself. That's why I haven't studied that yet, because when I do study it, Lord have mercy. You have to understand, even when you're listening to my audio, if you understand this audio, well, let the professor tell you that I have wove my frequency into you, so now you're going to get a lesson related to this audio. God like to play games! That lecture's coming out, so listen to it. God loves to play games. Well, I got a lot of lectures coming. Because it's all about teaching, learning, sharing, loving, giving. And on that note, folks, let me close this out. Karma is basically the acts that you yourself believe, have ate of, and have placed on the screen of your life. So when karma comes back, sometimes it is not too sweet, Sometimes when karma, you're not ready to dance with her and she wants to dance anyway, Sometimes when karma come, you be like, yo, karma, I'm tired. Oh, God, I can't believe this is happening. Karma, please go away. Come back tomorrow. Karma, no, don't turn the music up. Karma, no, don't move the furniture. Karma, oh, no, karma, I don't feel like dancing. Oh, no, karma, not again. Not that salsa samba, karma. Oh, no. Oh! But, karma don't want to hear that shit. It's time to dance. It's time to dance. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the lecture. Just remember, sow loving acts into your world. Because when karma comes, she comes to dance. She don't want to hear, you don't remember these moves. She don't care if you remember or not, And you don't, because you don't believe in reincarnation, karma don't care. You're going to have to live this. You slapped the person in your other life, so turn your face, because I'm going to lace your face with 5 of the sweetest, longest, strongest fingers you're ever going to feel in your life. Come. I might even hit you 3 times, so take this first one real good. Yo, this is Professor L coming at you with that realness, baby. How y'all doing out there? To my subscribers, I love you. I dropped this hot off the press to y'all because I appreciate y'all the most, baby. This is Professor L. Like, share, subscribe. And don't forget, show your love. That's loveseed777@gmail.com. Y'all can hit me up on PayPal. That's LUVSEED777@gmail.com. I love you. I love myself. And myself, all of you. This is Professor L. Peace. And until next time, I'm out.